So with the Storm Blue yarn, we're going to start with a standing DC to the first stitch of the previous row. And then we're going to work a DC into each of the next 3 stitches. So we'll have 4 DC in total there. Then we're going to work a front post double treble around the 7th treble from the 23rd row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to miss a stitch and work a DC. Then we're going to work a front post double treble around the 5th treble from row 23. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's made that little cross shape, and there should be 1 stitch unworked on either side of the post that you've worked around. So now we're going to miss a stitch and work a DC into each of the next 4 stitches. Then we're going to work a front post treble around the first treble that makes your first V stitch, okay? So not one of your normal trebles, but the first treble that makes your first V. So that's just a front post treble around there. Then miss a stitch and work 1 DC, just 1 there. And then we're going to work a treble 2 tog over the next 2 posts that make up your next available 2 V's. Okay, so yarn over, insert your hook around that next unworked V, grab the yarn and pull around the back of that post, yarn over and pull through 2. Then instead of yarning over and finishing off that stitch, we're going to yarn over and move on to the next. Insert your hook around the back of the next available post, yarn over and pull around the back, yarn over and pull through 2, so you're left with 3 on the hook, then yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's your tog. Then we're going to miss a stitch and work a DC into each of the next 2. And do it again. Yarn over, insert your hook around the back of the next available post, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, move on to the next, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, so there's 3 loops left on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 2. Okay, miss a stitch and work a DC into each of the next 2, and then work your tog again, your treble 2 tog over your V posts, miss a stitch and work a DC into the next 2, and your tog again, miss a stitch and DC into the next 2, and then treble 2 tog over the next 2 V posts, miss a stitch and work a DC into the next 2, and then we're working a normal front post treble around the last V post of this set of V's here. So miss a stitch and work a DC into each of the next 7 stitches. Then we're going to work a front post treble around the first V, just around that first post of your first V for the next set. Miss a stitch and work a DC into the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to do a treble 2 tog over the next 2 available posts of your V's. Miss a stitch and DC into the next 2. Treble 2 tog over your next 2 trebles that make the V's. Miss a stitch and DC into the next 2. Treble 2 tog over the next 2 available stitches that make your V's. Miss a stitch, DC into the next 2. Treble 2 tog over the next 2 posts that make up the V's. Miss a stitch, DC into the next 2. Now your last tog, miss a stitch, just work 1 DC and then work a front post treble around that last treble that makes up your V's. Now we're going to miss a stitch and work a DC into each of the next 4 stitches. And now we're going to work a front post double treble round the 5th treble from the end of the 23rd row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Miss a stitch and work a DC into the next. And then work another front post double treble around the 7th treble from the end on that 23rd row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then miss a stitch and work a DC into each of the next 4 stitches. And that should bring you to the end. There we go. So now we can chain 1, turn and work a DC into each stitch to the end. That should all add up to your 65 stitches again. Okay, so just a quick recap. We've got 4 on either end, and then your little cross stitch, which has which is made up of 3 stitches, your 2 front post double trebles and your DC in the middle. Then you've got your 4 stitches after that on either side. Then you've got a normal front post treble into that first and last V of these sets of V's here, into there. Then you've got 5 treble 2 togs on either side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A normal front post treble around that last and first post that makes up your V, and then your 7 DCs in the middle. Okay, so if you've got that, we can move on to row 26, and then after that I'll see you for the 27th row. So for the 27th row, we're just going to mark a stitch. So this was the 25th row, and we're marking the centre stitch where these DCs are. So you had 7 DCs in the middle here. So can you see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're marking the 4th one, which is the middle one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that one. Just marking with a contrast thread. There we go. And now we're taking our grey yarn and starting with a standing treble to the first stitch of the previous row. And then we're working a treble into each of the next 12 stitches. So you should have 13 trebles including your standing treble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now we're going to work a front post double treble around the first treble 2 tog from row 25. So that's that one there. Okay, so around here. Insert your hook around the back of the hole, treble 2 tog. Then finish off your double treble. Miss a stitch and work a treble into each of the next 2 stitches. And then work a front post double treble around your next treble 2 tog. So that's what we're repeating. Missing a stitch, working a treble over the next 2 stitches, and then working your front post double treble around your next treble 2 tog. So we're just coming up to our last treble 2 tog of this set here. So we're working a front post double treble around that. And then we're going to miss a stitch and work a treble into each of the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to work a front post treble 2 tog on either side using the stitches on either side of the marked thread. So yarn over twice, insert your hook around the back of the DC that's to the right of the marked stitch, so around here, and yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Instead of finishing that stitch off, we're going to yarn over twice again, and we're going to insert our hook around the DC that's to the left of the marked stitch. Pull through 2, pull through 2, and then you should have 3 loops left on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And we're going to miss a stitch and work a treble into each of the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we can work a front post double treble around the next treble 2 tog of the 25th row. So we're doing the same again to make it symmetrical. So we're just working, missing a stitch and working 2 trebles over the next 2 stitches. So that's what we're repeating. Yarn over twice, around the back of the next treble 2 tog, finish off your double treble, miss a stitch, treble into the next 2 stitches. So insert your hook around the back of that last treble 2 tog and finish off your double treble. Miss a stitch, yarn over, and you should have enough stitches to do 13 trebles. So let's check we've got 13 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you should have your 13 trebles on either side. We can get rid of this marker stitch now. So you've got your 13 trebles on either side. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 front post double trebles with 2 trebles in between each of them. 6 trebles on either side of your double treble 2 tog. And that should all add up to your 65 stitches. So once you've chained 1, turned and worked a DC into every stitch along here, that is part 5 completed. So let's just see if we can have a look at. So this is what it should be looking like. Obviously still finishing your DC row along here. So if it's all looking lined up and you've got your 65 stitches, that's part 5 complete, and then I'll see you for part 6. Thanks for watching.